There's some Trews. Right, here is some Trews. Conchita has won Eurovision. Bearded Lady Conchita versed will rake in 25 million. The Star focuses on the 25 million that Conchita, the ambiguous, I think, transvestite, male to woman transvestite, will win. Third World War. The Sun says loopy Russian leaders launched a furious attack on the West tonight because a furry-faced drag queen won the Eurovision Song Contest. So attaching the victory to conflict in Europe. Hair-raising beauty, says the Express. What I think is interesting about it, of course what's happened is the Eurovision Song Contest, which is a sort of a novelty competition in a way, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of about novelty and carnival, and the figure of sort of a hermaphrodite or the idea of androgyny is a carnivalesque idea. What does Conchita suggest? Other than, as I've tweeted, looking eerily similar to me, it's the coming together of the genders. I suppose we all like gender is one of the key ways through which we identify ourselves, isn't it? Like they say that's the first thing you recognise in another person, man, woman, at a sort of a subconscious or unconscious level. You've already made that judgment. So someone that plays with that idea of gender to check, like I don't know if there's been any surgery or anything, but like that when she was a fella, she looked like that, which is sort of more feminine. Now that she's identifying more as a woman, there's quite a thick beard there. So it's like it's playing with the idea of gender identity. Mythologically, there's a couple of ideas around it. There's the idea that we were all one gender once, like all beings had the same gender identity and we separated. That crops up in Roman myth and Greek myth. And then there's the idea that we will again come together and unify, that the two genders will once again unite. Like Hermaphrodite, the sort of god of androgyny, or goddess of androgyny, I never know what's correct, is also a symbol of a marital union. So like there's the suggestion that Conchita could mean, although the idea of hermaphrodites or ambiguous gender means coming together and separating. But I reckon there's the reason that there's so much fascination is because we're all like print media is obsessed with gender roles. Like here, the male, this is sort of like warrior imagery. It's like Manchester City win the title. That's a sort of clear male identity. And then on page 3 of the Sun, females, like a sexualised female, very again clear gender identity. I like it when you sort of can see in the news that it's appealing to ancient psychological templates, that in spite of it seeming to be ultra-modern, I mean, that's the very nature of news, current affairs. This has only just happened. The Eurovision Song Contest happened just yesterday. What's interesting, really, is what the structure, symbol and ideas are very, very ancient, deep in our culture, and you can use those ideas to be liberating and cohesive, socially cohesive, to bring two people together, or you can use them to be frightening or titillating. So while we're all focusing on the ambiguity of gender and what our own sexual roles are in society and how men and women could live together harmoniously and how could we find a truly equal society and a fair way of treating people regardless of their sexual identity, there is this happening. It's like the pop charts for who's the richest. People love a list, don't we? The top 10 stars that have had abortions. The top 10 stars that have fell off logs. Here are the 100 billionaires living in Britain. You know, that's quite important because that's feudalism, if there's 100 people with that much money. Now, these people that have got billions, can't we have it? I'll go through this list, I go, we're having all your money, and they go, but we don't have our taxes here, we have our taxes on an island in the Cayman Islands. I go, you can fucking go and live there then. Conchita is a symbol of masculinity and femininity coming together, the unity of the genders. That's what the hermaphrodite or sexual androgyny represents, the idea that despite our distinctions, our sort of binary oppositional appearance, there is a unity. So, let Conchita, instead of being an emblem for capitalism, an emblem for war, an emblem for, she's not on the front page of that one, let her be an emblem for us, coming together, unifying against the ridiculous feudal tyranny now being imposed like never before, not since medieval times have we seen such terrible exploitation of people. Let her be a symbol, a Eurovision symbol for us coming together to nick that billionaire list people's money back. Dun 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 dun.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some trews. Let's have some trews.